and welcome to another edition of the Plus One interview. And today we have a special guest, Coach Farroba from Bridgewater State. Head basketball coach is here to join me. How are you doing today, Coach?
Very good, thank you. Today is November 2nd, and normally we would start practice October 15th. So today is each school had their different policy in our league. So Bridgewater State, we were going to start November 2nd.
Yep.
We're starting, today will be our first practice, and we'll be given, because of the virus, we have two groups.
Okay.
We're starting tryouts, so we're in two groups for this first week. Each kid, it's usually about 70 to 75 minute workout, and then we rotate another group in.
Mm-hmm. How interesting has this time been? You know, starting later than usual, and now
to prepare you for it. You know what I mean? We've never, it's different. For the kids standpoint, it's been very difficult. Even getting time, like in the preseason, even getting time to come in, they had to schedule through the athletic department specific times when they could come into the building and use part of the wood court to shoot around. And there was only a certain number. For example, right now, the Tinsley Center, our athletic building for basketball, we have 25 people can be in there at one time. Okay. And that's players and coaches combined together, the number has to equal 25. Mm-hmm. So once you go over that number, then you have to get into different groups. So that's what we're doing right now. We have two different groups. Yeah. We have about 30 people we're going to see for that. So that's been one of the. So if you were on campus, you'd have to register to come in to do shooting at a particular time. Mm-hmm. You had to schedule that. You had protocol coming in. You have to wear a mask while you were there. You had to keep your social distancing. You couldn't play one-on-one. You couldn't play two-on-two. You couldn't play three-on-three. So not for nothing, you could imagine how, for a kid, that's very, that's where you learn the game, playing one-on-one, two-on-two. I mean, I honestly think those are where we do this in practice. We'll try to play one-on-one, two-on-two, three-on-three. Mm-hmm. Because that's where the kids really learn how to play without the ball, with the ball, setting screens. So it's that's valuable. And the fact that we can't do that, well, I think it hinders progress. You know what I mean? It hinders progress.
Yeah, how happy do you think your players are to get in the gym, because it's been tough for them just to get in the facility?
Well, I know some of them went to, we fortunately in the fall we had some pretty good weather, so I know some of the kids were going to some of the local courts here, and they were playing outdoors. I know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they were social distancing, I'm not so sure about that part of it. You know what I mean? But I know a lot of kids, because the college had their protocols. I know when they went outside there, they went to outdoor courts and played. So I'm not sure how that worked. So far, that's worked out, I guess.
Yeah. As a head coach, how has this changed from your regular ways of doing things? You have a set time for preseason,
well, right now,
and all that.
Right now, you won't be doing we're in phases. They're also doing it based on phases. Mm-hmm. In our first phase, it's just really skills, shooting, dribbling, conditioning. And once we go through, then it goes to our, what they call the cabinet here on the campus. And then they will give us, can we move on to do maybe 2-on-2, 3-on-3? I think what they're doing at the beginning, they bring us together as a group. The kids are getting tested weekly.
Okay.
So as long as, I guess, our group, as long as we move along and we don't have any complications, then I think our group will get more ability, more phases where we can maybe, okay, now we can play one-on-one. Mm-hmm. We can play 2-on-2. We can play 3-on-3. But they're going to start slow, and bring us along.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in the month of in the month of November, we're scheduled for, I think it's 3, 6, 9, about 12 practices for the month of November.
Mm-hmm.
Our practice times will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that's where we're at right now. And then December, I think we'll get a couple of practices, and then we'll wait, because then you're going to be right next to finals. And then what's going to happen at the finals, you'll take your finals, and then everybody's going to go home to January 27th. And at that time, I believe they're hoping that they have some clarity on where we're going for winter, either whether or not we're going to play a league schedule, if you will.
And I understand that you're going to be attending a meeting soon to find out more information about the upcoming season. Can you tell me a little about that?
That meeting will be, it's called the President's Council for the MASCAC, the Massachusetts Athletic Conference. They are going to be meeting November 13th. And at that time, between the presidents and the athletic directors, and I believe probably athletic trainers, medical people from each college, they'll discuss. One of the problems, I look at right now, and I try to follow the news right now. One of the things I keep hearing that the age group of 30 and under, it seems that's starting to spike. So that's my concern right now. Those are the kids. Those are our, so I'm not sure where the state's going to move on this right now, given that that's the group that's moving. Even high school basketball. This past week in the Globe, there was an article about high school basketball and what are they going to do? What are they waiting? And the MIAA is still waiting to hear on what they're going to do as well.
Okay. So a lot of uncertainty happening right now
yes.
As far as basketball wise. In all your years of coaching, I know how would you describe this, this whole year as far as athletics?
Well, if I go back to, if I go back to March 11th, so from a college basketball coach's point of view, we lost out on summer leagues, watching kids play in the summer. We lost out on AAU basketball unless you went up to New Hampshire, because New Hampshire seemed to be, they were a little bit less strict in terms of what they were going to do, and a lot of AAU basketball was being played in New Hampshire. No, in Massachusetts, there were no summer basketball leagues, which were, for me, I watch a lot of those, or fall leagues. Like one of the fall leagues that I attend, there's one in Lynn that was run over at one of the middle schools that I used to go. It was a Sunday morning one that I used to go over. Actually, that's where I first saw Johnny Mercado from Lynn. He played at St. Mary's of Lynn, and that's when I first met him and recruited him to come to Bridgewater. That was there. And then there was another league up in North Andover, a fall league, which was a great one. There was about 14 high schools that participated in that, and they shut it down. So from a recruiting point, that's affected. We're getting what we are getting. We're getting kids who are interested in us, and they're sending us video. That's currently what we're doing. So
I was going to ask you that.
From kids, so kids, they're trying to get themselves out there, so that's what they're doing.
I was just about to ask you that as far as recruiting wise, because so many kids that are seniors now, this may be their opportunity to try to showcase their talent. Those kids that weren't heavily recruited their first 3 years and kind of picked up their junior year, and they were looking to showcase more their senior year to try to get those.
Well, and if you look at the spring sports, it's even worse. If you were a baseball player, you lost, you lost that, and they're hoping for the spring still again, but I'm not sure what's going to happen.
If you look at football too, the football this football here, a lot of seniors this year, they've lost an opportunity to showcase their talents.
I live in North Attleboro, and there was an article in the newspaper. They interviewed each high school football coach, and that was one of the things that were expressed by a couple of coaches, was they had a couple of athletes that, they're seniors now and they're not getting the exposure. They're using video from their junior year, but and I know over the summer the kid might have put on 10, 15 pounds. Now he's filling out his body, he's getting better looking, so it's a real problem. One guy in particular, he talked about, he felt he had two kids that were definitely Division 1A football players. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're not having a season, they're hoping for February, I guess. High schools are hoping for February. Yeah. Bridgewater State is also hoping that they might be able to play football in the spring. That's what they're hoping here.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we just got a few more minutes left. So, as you wait for everything to unravel, how do you just try to make sure your players keep their heads in the right direction and stay focused?
The thing I really worry about, quite honest with you, is I hope they got to stay on top of schoolwork. You know what I mean? Because if they don't do the schoolwork, basketball is irrelevant. You know what I mean? It really is. In your some of the best players you ever saw, they never played because they didn't take care of school. And this is my biggest concern. I tell them, the kids, is it's really, some of the kids have explained, it's been very difficult. This remote learning. You're watching the computer, you're talking. They're doing work. They don't know. They're not so sure how much they're learning. Is in some of their comments. Mm-hmm. They're getting work. They're doing the readings. They're doing the work. But and I know that classroom, the stimulation of the professor with the student and everybody talking, it's not the same. You can try to replicate it with Zoom, I guess, with everybody's on there. But I think being in the room, and then the socialization is huge. So I worry, hopefully they'll take care of school first, and hopefully this basketball practices that we have will be a good social part for them. They'll get together with teammates, they'll get to talk. My son coaches football here, and one of his things says he thought the kids have been really good in that you can tell they really miss the socialization. Yeah. An opportunity for them to get together and socialize. Right. I think the kids at Bridgewater in general have done a pretty good job. I think the off-campus house parties have been minimal. You know what I mean? From my understanding, I think there might have been only one incident where they've had something. And other than that, I think the kids have done a pretty good job in that. And that's what it really, we're only going to go as far as, I think the kids take us. Yep. It's a lot of pressure on them. You know what I mean? To do the right thing, to keep yourself quarantined, but it's very unnatural, though. It's very unnatural. College is strict, is such a social thing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, Coach, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time. I know you got a busy day today with the start of practice.
Yeah, we're excited. I'm down here early today, just making sure everything is. I tell you what, today they got to come. They got to come in a certain door. Mm-hmm. They got to have their mask. We have a chair all lined up in the gym, 6 feet apart, so they can put a gym bag or whatever, water bottles, hand sanitizer, and then we're going to have them spaced out in the gym. So we're looking forward to it. So thank you very much for getting back. I apologize for last Friday.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem.
Right.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been watching the Plus One interview. That's Coach Farroba from Bridgewater State. I'm Mukal Kabongo. Have a great day.